Welcome. Today I bring you the preview of the next chapter of The Ambassador's Daughter. Atik arrives at the mansion running scared, calling Halis. There she meets Kavarik. So worried she asks him to look for Halis because something terrible has happened. Kavarik agrees and enters the house to look for Halis, who is with Gulsiye and Asiye removing all Menix's things from the house and organizing Sanjar's room. Kavarik asks Halis to go out to look at what has happened, so Halis goes with him. Asiye tells Gulsiye that family seems to be very severe. Because of the way they threw Minek out, Gulsiye replies that she shouldn't get used to her life there, as Halis can be unpredictable. Halis comes out angry and asks Atik what's wrong. Atik reproaches her that they kicked out pregnant Minek, so Halis is shocked. Atik tells her that she had to take Minek to the hospital because she was bleeding and asks where Sanjar is, shouting that Sanjar is irresponsible as he is not for Minek when she is having problems with her baby. Scared Halis looks at Kavarik. Sanjar goes to Nair's house. There he receives a call from his mother but he doesn't answer. Sanjar enters the house with Melik and Nair. Elvan receives them and is surprised to see them together, so she happily asks Sanjar if he gave up with his revenge. He scared tells her not to talk about it in front of Melik. So Elvan rectifies and invites them in. But Sanjar says goodbye to Melik and they agree to meet the next day at the olive trees. Elvan asks Melik what he did during the day. Melik tells him that he was at the olive trees and then they went to a picnic. But he didn't understand why they went to the mill afterwards. Nair and Sanjar look uncomfortable. So Elvan takes Melik away to leave them alone. Nair asks Sanjar if he plans to hand Akin over to the police. He answers yes and asks her if she really planned to open the door in case he had decided to kill Akin for Melik to see everything. Nair answers no. So Sanjar asks her if then it was a bluff. Nair answers that she trusted him not to do it. So Sanjar says she always trusts him and asks her about what Geddes said. About her not being able to go on living if something happened to him. Nair asks her why she cares. Sanjar says it's because she tried so hard to make sure nothing happened to him. Nair accepts having said that but clarifies that she has learned to live without him. Sanjar says that then she only cares that he is alive even though he is not with her, so Nair confirms it. Sanjar asks her to meet him at night in the cabin, but Nair refuses. Sanjar tells her that he knows that he has no chance with her anymore, but he wants to talk about what they are going to do, as he wants to do something for her and Melik, and reveals that he bought a port for his daughter. Nair tells him that she already knew. Sanjar asks her if Geddes told her and why she didn't tell him about it. Nair answers that it is because she was too busy trying to save him. Sanjar tells her that he is waiting for her in the hut and leaves. Meanwhile Geddes beats up Akin for what he did to Moog, Zara and Nair. Akin asks him to stop and tries to manipulate him to turn him against Sanjar, using his love for Nair, but Geddes doesn't give in and continues to beat him. Akin asks him to admit that he wanted Sanjar to kill him just so he could marry Nair without a problem. But Geddes replies that he is not like him and unlike him they have principles and don't touch women. Geddes tells him that the reason why Sanjar didn't kill him was not to bother Nair, but that if he kills him nobody will be bothered. Geddes continues beating him. So Sanjar, who has heard everything, stops him and takes him away. Geddes admits to have lost control. Sanjar asks him to leave. So Geddes asks him what he is going to do. Sanjar replies that he is going to wait for Kavarik and swears that he won't kill Akin, but they can't release him. So Geddes asks him to keep his promise and leaves. Zara goes to see Elvan to ask him if it's true that Sanjar came to his senses. Elvan confirms it to her, so they happily hug and then go to Melik and Nair, who are preparing a cake. They talk about how now they shouldn't worry about Sanjar. Elvan tells Zara that Nair will meet Sanjar in the evening. So Zara gets excited, but Nair reminds them that Sanjar is married. But Elvan tells her that Sanjar has kicked Minek out and they're getting divorced. Nair changes the subject, reminding them that they have Melik in front of them. At that moment Gulsiye calls Zara to give her the news that Minek is pregnant, so Zara is shocked and looks worriedly at Nair. Zara hangs up the call and tells them that something has happened at the mansion and she must leave. Kavarik arrives at the mill to meet Sanjar. He, seeing him distressed, asks him if something happened, but Kavarik does not answer and goes in to see Akin, who frightened asks Sanjar what he intends to do to him and tries to manipulate him by telling him that if he kills him, Geddes will marry Nair. So Sanjar shuts him up. Akin begs him to release him. Sanjar tells him that Nair also begged to leave her when he attacked her, but he never stopped, and breaks her hand, then leaves to talk to Kavarik, asks to call a doctor for Akin and leaves for the mansion. Manek is taken to the mansion, so everyone waits anxiously. Zara asks Gulsier if she has told Elvan anything, but Gulsier replies that she hasn't told him anything. Asiye complains that Manek was taken there instead of staying in the hospital while her situation is serious. Zara asks Yaya if he has told Sanjar anything, but he replies that he hasn't. Sanjar arrives at the mansion. There he sees an ambulance, so worried he asks Kavarik what happened. Kavarik replies that he should go inside to see. So Sanjar runs to the house and asks Zara what happened. Gulsier opens the door of the room to show him Manek unconscious while the doctor does an ultrasound. So he realizes that she is pregnant. Halis congratulates him for being a father again, but Sanjar sits shocked. Nair arrives at the cabin, as Sanjar instructed, and brings the cake he made with Melik, but when he enters there is no one there, so he sits down to wait for him. Sanjar leaves the room overwhelmed and receives a call from Nair, but he does not answer. Sanjar asks the doctor about Menix's situation. He answers that Menix's condition is very serious since the bleeding has not stopped, and if it continues like this they could lose the baby. So it is better to have Menex sedated for a day since the stress can worsen her condition and the only thing they can do is wait. Atik looks angrily at Sanjar, who leaves distressed. Kavarik follows him. Meanwhile Nair continues to wait in the hut. Sanjar goes out to the barn, where he laments knowing that his son could die, so Kavarik tries to calm him down, but Sanjar continues to be distressed. Zara goes to see Sanjar to accompany him. Sanjar receives a message from Nair, who worriedly asks him if everything is alright. Zara asks Sanjar if he's not going to answer, so Sanjar annoyed asks how he can tell Nair that Manek is pregnant. Geddes returns home. Moog sees him distressed and notices his hands with blood, so he asks him what happened. Geddes replies that it's nothing. She insists, so Geddes tells her that Nair managed to stop Sanjar from killing Akin, but he was the one who almost killed Akin, and explains that he lost control. So Moog tries to calm him down and asks him if he was with Akin all day then, but Geddes tells him that Sanjar stopped him when he was beating Akin and that because he lost control he went to the seashore to calm down. Moog asks him if Akin made him very angry, since he is a manipulator. Geddes tells him that Akin asked him if he wanted Sanjar to go to jail so he could stay with Nair. Moog asks him if he wanted that to happen, since love blinds, but Geddes answers that he is not like her and that love will never blind him to the point of wanting something like that to happen to his friend. So Moog hugs him to comfort him. And so we end this preview. Until next time.